The divine functions with the intention of bringing forth creation. Prior to proceeding, it's essential to note that this video presents an elevated spiritual viewpoint, which might seem abstract and in contrast to your existing knowledge. Nevertheless, I encourage you to maintain patience and an open-minded approach, as it has the potential to guide you towards encountering deep inner contentment. Divine thinking goes beyond the realm of probability. It envisages and actualizes with unwavering certainty, encompassing both what we identify as positive and negative. Now, you might question the importance of this comprehension. In this existence, it's pivotal to adopt a mindset resembling the divine rather than categorizing events as favorable or unfavorable. Concentrate on the experiences you desire. In the perception of the divine, whatever captures its notice continues to materialize and unfurl in this world. You are a vital fragment, an individualized embodiment of the limitless divine. Thus, when you consider something adverse or unfavorable, you unintentionally stimulate your divinity to bring about more of it. This occurs because the divine's thinking orbits solely around creation and experience, devoid of idle musings or reveries. Consequently, your primary thoughts are construed literally by the divine, leading to their materialization in your existence for you to undergo. So, how can you respond? Simplify your stance by viewing things as either appealing or unappealing. When confronted with something undesirable, abstain from branding it as negative or undesirable, sidestepping condemnation. Instead, shift your cognitive attention towards delineating and contemplating the favorable condition. By doing so, you align your thoughts with the sought-after outcome, ultimately transforming it into your reality. The transformative shift between divine and human thinking bears a significant subtlety. Human thinking often lacks direction, lingering on trivial subjects or apprehensions. However, the divinity within you perceives these thoughts quite literally. If you become fixated on a specific topic over an extended period, the divine interprets it as your prevailing state of being, subsequently materializing it into your reality. This frequently results in astonishment and bewilderment when met with recurring disputes with your parents, sentiments of exploitation, or financial struggles. The crux lies in how you approach these subjects, as observing them can uncover your underlying presumptions. I encourage you to cultivate the art of thinking in perfect harmony with the divine. Disentangle yourself from the shackles of time and liberate your mindset from its confines. Divine thinking operates with swiftness and unwavering decisiveness. It brings about materialization almost instantaneously upon inception, devoid of any delays. The heart of the matter lies in embracing the notion of fulfillment within the present instant. Within this very moment, the entirety of existence unfolds. Your essence, multifaceted and boundless, concurrently navigates through an infinite array of versions of yourself. Temporal limitations solely pertain to your human self, as opposed to your divine essence, which persists in a constant state of presence, experiencing every facet of existence simultaneously. Neville Goddard explored the concept of the fourth-dimensional self, often known as the inner man. This dimension of your being thrives within your imagination, with the ability to exist seamlessly across any location and temporal realm. Dr. Joe Dispenza similarly approaches this notion from a scientific vantage point, elucidating that myriad potential versions of oneself coexist within the quantum realm. The pivotal idea here is that by transmuting into a higher state of energy and diminished materiality, the manipulation of time becomes an attainable reality. As once articulated by Albert Einstein, time exists in relation to the observer and exhibits variability in the presence of objects nearing the speed of light. This revelation underscores the fact that time wields no influence over your divinity. Your divine self transcends the constraints of time and space, omnipresently engaging with every permutation of your existence. Through discarding the conventional notion of time, you unlock the gateway to achieving fulfillment within the present moment. You will come to recognize that everything you yearn for is already an intrinsic possession of your divine self. Embracing these cognitive frameworks elevates your sense of profound contentment, prompting the finite dimensions of the 3D world to mirror the exact tapestry of your envisioned reality. As a result, your existence harmonizes with your aspirations and desires. Our patterns of thinking remain relatively unaltered due to our inclination to adhere to familiar pathways, holding on to the imprints of past experiences within the constraints of the human mind. This ingrained way of thinking heavily relies on historical data, serving as a barrier to the possibility of undergoing profound transformations. Nonetheless, if we pivot our perspective and engage with our divine self, the conventional notion of time dissipates, rendering previous data obsolete. The divine's operation is confined solely to the present moment, and revisiting the past inadvertently reconstructs it in the current instant. Furthermore, our cognizance of the potency of emotions in our thoughts unveils a pivotal verity. Thought imbued with emotion is akin to the act of creation. Liberating ourselves from the bounds of time, we can embrace the notion that our divine self already possesses and encounters our aspirations within an alternate realm of existence. By harmonizing with the vibrational frequency of that reality or version of ourselves, we can materialize our desires within the three-dimensional realm. Neville Goddard's words come to mind: assuming the sensation of our wishes fulfilled, we can chart the path that our focus follows. Our aspirations serve as affirmations from the divine realm, affirming our capability to attain what we yearn for. However, often, our own resistance thwarts the manifestation process. Ultimately, our choices determine the encounters we draw into our lives, with our divine self reciprocating in response to these choices. When fixation centers on undesirable outcomes, accompanied by resentful labeling, the unintended outcome is the reinforcement of their presence. Hence, nurturing a mindset aligned with the divine involves an escalating focus on authentic desires rather than categorizing experiences as positive or negative. Overindulgence in the duality of good and bad often leads to immersion in the negative, given the egoic mind's inclination towards predicaments. Conversely, the divine mind emerges as a generative energy, ushering in manifestations. Operating beyond temporal and spatial confines, omnipresent in nature, it is incumbent upon us to wield this power in sculpting the desired experiences, disengaging from other mental distractions. The divine transcends the contemplation of possibilities, probabilities, and the weighing of pros and cons. This is evident in the prevalent chaos within our world. If the divine were to perceive good and bad in the manner that religious doctrines describe, as supremely merciful, suffering would not exist, our reality would be akin to a utopian heavenly realm. However, the divine has vested us with the authority of creation in our individual lives. It is our human minds, with their intrinsic nature, that give rise to chaos, suffering, and pain. This underscores the importance of adopting a mindset akin to the divine. By doing so, we can gain clarity and ease in our understanding. It unveils the truth that our predominant thoughts shape our reality. To think like the divine is to align ourselves with the pure, loving energy of the Source. This alignment liberates us from feelings of inadequacy and fills us with profound bliss. Elevating our consciousness and shedding lower-level thinking allows us to collectively contribute to the betterment of the world. Conversely, a failure to adopt this mindset perpetuates suffering and ignorance of the fundamental principles that govern life. For instance, consider the mindset of someone who consistently focuses on lack and limitation. Their reality often mirrors these thoughts, leading to a sense of scarcity and unfulfillment. On the other hand, envision an individual who consciously cultivates thoughts of abundance and gratitude. Their experiences tend to be more positive and aligned with their desires. These examples illustrate the direct relationship between thought patterns and the reality they create. When you adopt a mindset that resonates with the divine, embracing your I am presence, a comforting certainty unfolds, everything finds its place, even amidst challenges. This assurance comes from realizing that, deep down, none of this is as solid as it seems. It's more like a dream within the vast mind of the all-encompassing divine.